If you're someone once you start dating or in relationship find yourself neglecting yourself and all the other areas of your life. If you are someone who find yourself getting obsessed with someone just after a few dates. If you are someone who is constantly let down by a partner but you cannot pinpoint why you're still with them, then there is quite a few chance that you might be anxiously attached person. But I want to start off by telling you that there is nothing wrong with you, because most of the time our attachment style is highly influenced by how we were taken care of when we were a child, and apparently even genes have something to do with it, which is out of your control. And this also doesn't mean that you were born with some kind of disease. This only means that like every human being, you have your own specific needs, which if goes unmet, you start to become anxious and emotional, which is totally understandable. However, our attachment style is not only influenced by those things that I talked about, but also our life experiences. And you might say you don't have control over life experiences. Some I say you don't, but some are literally your choices. And another thing is your mindset, which you totally have control over. And these are the only things that you can use to influence your attachment style to secure, because having a secure attachment style will help you tremendously in relationship, because you don't have to suffer through struggle, anxious and avoidant attachment brings in you. When I learned about attachment style, which was after my last relationship broke, and which was also the time that I had my breakthrough into personal development, I realized that I was an anxiously attached person. And even though I don't regret that our relationship broke, I'm more grateful it did. Heartbreak was not fun bit of it. And if I had known about attachment style early on, I would have saved myself from all the suffering by not being in relationship with avoidant people. Again, no hate to avoidant people, as much as I was uneducated, maybe they were or they are, but that's the sole purpose of this video, to educate anxiously attached people about their attachment system so that you don't have to suffer through that just because you couldn't see what was really going on. And this video will also cover things that you need to think through before you get into a relationship if you're single and anxiously attached person. But before that, welcome to my channel. This is Sabina, and this is a space where we encourage everyone to love themselves unconditionally and be connected with their most loving, higher and deeper version of themselves. So what is attachment style? Attachment style is something that detects the behavior of people in relationship. That can be because of their desire for intimacy or because of their sensitivity towards potential threat. Apparently there are 4 types of attachment style, but I'm only going to be giving you a brief idea on what 3 of those are, because 4th one is very uncommon and something that I was not aware about before. First one is anxious attachment style, which is basically sensitive attachment style, and their first need in relationship is to feel close with their partner, mostly emotionally. Second one is secure attachment style, who are basically comfortable with emotional closeness and intimacy, and they are very resilient according to their partner's need, because they have a strong sense of self-worth and they're not easily influenced to have emotional imbalances. Third one, avoidant attachment style. They're not comfortable being emotionally close in relationship, and they believe that independency is necessary. They are also the one who finds a small reason not to stay in relationship because they're not comfortable with emotional closeness. And here goes the first lesson of this video. Anxious and avoidant are not compatible because their needs are completely different and cannot coexist. Why are anxious and avoidant not compatible? Anxiously attached people desire closeness and intimacy. Avoidantly attached people maintains emotional distance. Anxious people needs constant reassurance and needs to know where they stand in relationship. Avoidant people oftentimes puts no label in relationship, and even if they do, there is always uncertainty in their behavior. Anxious people are very sensitive. Avoidant people sense mixed signal, which often come across as rejection. Anxious people are not good at communicating. Avoidant people cannot read your verbal and non-verbal cues. Even though there are 50% of secure people compared to 25% of anxious and 25% of avoidant, anxious and avoidant tend to attract each other because in some weird toxic way, these 2 attachment styles complement each other by reaffirming each other's deepest belief about themselves. For anxiously attached people, that they're not good enough because avoidantly attached people push them away, which oftentimes come across as rejection. And for avoidantly attached people, that they are independent and they need big personal space, because for them, anxiously attached people might come across as clingy. If you are an anxiously attached person, you probably found secure guy boring before. Did you ever date someone who is easy, not dramatic, and you concluded him as boring and someone who you're not attracted to? And if you dated avoidant guy, you probably thought that you guys were so passionate and you've never felt like this before with anyone. Even though he sends you mixed signal, doesn't put any label in relationship, and treats you shitty. And do you know why is that? Because you have an unhealthy pattern of finding avoidant guy attractive. And this is not something that you don't have power over if you start being conscious about what kind of belief and story you hold. This is actually a mindset. This emotion you call passion when you date avoidantly attached person is not passion, but your activated attachment system, which your body loves in the moment because it creates this rush of adrenaline, but it is not healthy for your long-term mental and physical health. What you call passion is not passion, but negative addiction. You are constantly overwhelmed by confusion and obsession that you think you're in love because you keep fluctuating between emotion and your body finds that exciting. But do you know what really is love? Love is feeling of deep affection towards someone, which brings contentment, satisfaction, and peace in you, which needs to be equally reciprocated if you want to make your relationship work. Falling in love is a choice. And for those of you who don't believe in this, choosing between that love and self-love is a choice too. So here's the second lesson of this video. Instead of making you feel safe and secure, they make you feel obsessed and confused, then it's not love. It is your activated attachment system. So what is this activated attachment system? The first most important need of anxiously attached people is to be reassured that they are loved and their partner is emotionally close with them and emotionally available to them. But when they are with avoidant person, they don't feel the closeness because they don't like the closeness. And that's when you get triggered and you start to get anxious. And this will only be soothed once you're reassured. Until you're reassured, your body will do anything to bring that closeness with your partner. That's when you get so obsessed with them and it feels like you cannot think of anything else because nothing matters more than this right now. That's why it is so hard to let go of person, even though it is so clear how toxic your relationship is. And that happens because we human beings have deep need to be close with someone as a mate. And even avoidant people have this need, but they're so good at suppressing their emotion, they're not even consciously aware about that. That's why avoidant people feel lonely when they're not in relationship, but they feel suffocated when they are in relationship because they are not in tune with their own emotion. And in this mate, we seek secure base. Someone who we can rely on, someone who has got our back no matter what, someone who provides so much security that we do things that we would be afraid to do by ourselves. Secure base is something that lets you be independent, being emotionally dependent on someone. Secure base is a biological need and your body naturally seeks this once you form bond with someone. And I know people say you shouldn't depend on anyone, but there would be no relationship if you cannot depend on your partner emotionally. But when anxiously attached people are with avoidant, your system is constantly activated because as soon as you get this reassurance and find your secure base in your partner pulls away because he doesn't feel comfortable and your need goes unmet. And that is how your toxic cycle begins. Now, let's talk about the few signs that you might be anxiously attached person. 1. You have constant need to be close with your partner and sometimes you might come off as clingy. 2. You have self-doubt. You're constantly putting your partner in pedestal and doubting if you are good enough for them or not. 3. We are sensitive and we are triggered easily. We notice a small thing like tone of someone's voice, change in someone's attitude, and that triggers emotional reaction in us. 4. We get jealous very easily. If your partner has a friend who is girl, you form a scenario in your head and get jealous of something that has never happened. 5. We run to conclusion very quickly. If your partner doesn't text you back in few hours, you jump to conclusion that he's never calling you again, he's cheating on you, he's found someone else. 6. Untrusting. Constantly looking at your partner's Instagram and checking who he is following or whose picture he is liking. These are just a few signs that you might be anxiously attached person, and this might be true to you and this might not be true to you. So I highly recommend you go to internet and literally search attachment style quiz or test and figure out what your attachment style is, because that would really greatly help you. Now, the fun part. Let's talk about how we can up-label our attachment style to secure. Number 1, build a good relationship with yourself. I never truly connected with myself. I never truly knew myself. I never really liked being alone. If I was alone, I needed to be distracted by some series, books, or music. I was fearful of going out to movies, shop, cafes, especially restaurants. I always needed someone to be around with me. That's why I pleased people so hard so they will see how worthy I am and they will let me stay in their life until I had no one to please anymore and I had to live by myself alone. I'm not gonna lie, it was so damn hard in the beginning because I didn't know how to be with myself. But then I slowly realized it was not as bad as I thought it would be. I was lonely, but I was okay. I was alive and I was handling it. But I was still heartbroken, so I went to YouTube and literally searched how to heal from breakup. And this whole new world opened up for me. There were so many videos about self-love because before that I barely had idea of self. But with all the information that I had gathered, I finally formed a sense of self. Having a sense of self means being able to acknowledge myself, my belief, my opinion, what makes me without any filter of other people's opinion. For the first time, I was truly with me, and that is literally how my self love journey started. Anxiously attached people are anxious because they fear the same thing that I used to fear of being alone and fear of being abandoned. That's why they put so much importance in relationship to the point that they don't feel whole and complete without being with someone. They fear this abandonment so bad that they are willing to stay in unfulfilling relationship with someone than face this fear. But if you just face this fear, it's not as bad as you are making it in your head. And I am a living proof of that. I am in this state of mind right now that I don't even see it as abandonment. I see it as incompatibility. Self love is when you feel so loved by yourself, when you feel so worthy and complete without needing external factors. That is why it's called self love because it comes within you without you needing anything or anyone else. When you love yourself, then you can make decisions depending on your needs and what truly matters to you. That way you can bring someone into your life depending on are they going to add more love in the love you already have within yourself or are they going to ruin it? And I know people see self-love as some sort of cliche thing, but self-love is actually a mindset. Mindset that truly helps you make decisions depending on your well-being and your happiness. This is a harsh truth, but anxious people get triggered because you love your partner or your relationship more than you love yourself. If you truly loved yourself, you wouldn't let anyone make you feel less than what you are. 2. Finding a secure partner. One thing about our attachment style is that it can keep changing because it is not only solely based on us, but also type of partner we choose and what we experience. And no matter how strong your personality and mindset might be, our energy, emotion, and mindset is easily influenced depending on what kind of people or thing we are exposing ourselves to and how often. So, the best thing you can do is choose better to start with. Before we started going out officially, me and my boyfriend did attachment style test, and at that time I was anxious leading towards secure and he was fully secure. And then recently we did our test again and I am secure now and he's still secure. And to be honest, I didn't really need to do test because I can't tell how secure I feel within myself and in relationship right now. But what I will tell you is maybe 60% of my change in attachment style is because of my personal growth, but 40% credit goes to my secure boyfriend. So if you are single, the best thing you can do for yourself is find a secure man. But if you haven't really looked deeply into your attachment style and your habit and your mindset, then you might sabotage your secure relationship too. So inner work is as much important. In few weeks of dating, test out your attachment style and your partner's attachment style and figure out is he compatible with you or not. Don't look for instant gratification when you're dating someone because surely avoidant people can give you that. And when you're dating someone, your body is already in this euphoric stage and you cannot see red flags being thrown at you. And by the time your body has already formed bond with them as a secure base, and that is how this toxic cycle begins. But when you have futuristic intention of dating someone, you will not settle for instant gratification because you will be occupied by the idea that you hold for your well-being and your happiness for the long term and not just right now. That allows you to date more people before you make your decision. Before I got into relationship with my boyfriend, I went on lots of dates because anxiously attached people have a scarcity mindset. And we think that lots of people don't want to connect with us and we don't have much option. But going on more dates helped me see how much of option I really had. And lots of things that I believed about myself, like I'm not attractive enough, I'm not interesting enough, were all false. And it helped me gain more confidence in myself. And not only that, it helped me broaden my standard in man. And I chose my partner based on my needs, my goal, and how compatible we are. But one thing that you need to be mindful about when you're dating someone, if you haven't made your decision yet, is please keep physical touch to minimum, because the more physically close you get, the more quicker your body forms bond with them. When anxious and avoidant people are together, they might have great chemistry, but they're not compatible. And compatibility is one of the most important factor of relationship, because chemistry happens because of attraction, and attraction is superficial, but compatibility happens because of shared value and goals, which helps you sustain your relationship for long term. Number 3, acknowledge your needs. Acknowledging your needs comes with self love and understanding. You should start being compassionate with yourself and understand that your needs are important and valid. So, when choosing a partner, don't think if you can change yourself for them. Instead, you should choose your partner according to if they can fulfill your needs. Small adjustments are necessary in relationship, but if it concerns your deepest needs and values, then understand that not everyone's compatible with you, and that's okay. When starting to date someone, understand their needs as well and see if that is something that you're capable of handling for a long run, depending on your attachment style early and before you decide to take things further. Another thing is self-love comes when you're authentic. When you're dating someone, show your authentic self and don't pretend like you're someone who you're not. I know there's so many dating advice where they say you have to act mysterious, you have to act confident, you have to pretend like you don't care if he doesn't text you. Don't listen to that. Because if you do that, you're going to attract avoidant person. Because they think you're perfect for them because you're giving them their space and they love it. You're actually deceiving them. But in long run, this is not gonna work because your basic need in relationship is to get that emotional closeness from your partner. But when you seek that emotional closeness, your partner will feel suffocated because he's avoidantly attached person. And then your toxic cycle begins. But instead, if you had been authentic to start with and set out your needs openly, you both would have been saved from this emotional turmoil to start with. Number 4, communication. This is probably one of the most important factors of relationship, and anxious people are very bad at this. That's why we suffer. Anxious people are a zoomer, and we make scenario in our head and conclude that things are not going good when things are going good, and sometimes not only that, we conclude things are going so well when they're not. For example, if you want your partner to spend quality time with you on weekend, but you don't communicate that and you just assume that he's gonna read your mind, let me tell you, he can't. Then all you get is no quality time and anxiety that he doesn't understand you. And if your partner is avoidant, God knows what's gonna happen. But if your partner is secure but not communicating, you're actually sabotaging your secure relationship too. One thing about anxious people is that when their system is activated, they show protest behavior by giving your partner silent treatment, by saying that you're gonna break up with your partner while hoping that they will fall on their knees and ask you to stay back, pretending like you're shutting off your partner and hoping that they will apologize to you and come to you, even though they don't really know the reason behind your this behavior. And what this protest behavior really does is distracts you from core problem because you're so preoccupied by your activated system. And this cycle would just pass on with no awareness of actual issue. But if you had communicated your needs clearly and reasoned out why is it so important to you, your system wouldn't get activated, you wouldn't stress your partner, you wouldn't jeopardize your relationship. Communication not only saves you from not jeopardizing your relationship, but also saves you from emotional turmoil you would have gotten if you were in relationship with wrong guy. I've gone on countless dates, and by communicating my needs, I've dodged so many bullets. And from then, I have started seeing rejection as incompatibility and not as I'm not good enough. They're not rejecting you, they're showing that they're not capable of maintaining your needs in relationship. Before we even went on date, me and my boyfriend were texting each other for months and getting to know each other. We share our goals, our values, the vision that we hold for future, what kind of mindset we have around relationship and life, and what are we seeking out of this relationship. We were compatible, and that is why our relationship is going so strong, because we are compatible and we communicate our needs clearly. Number 5, get your royalty treatment. Anxious people, if they have been with avoidant people, most of the time cannot believe princess treatment is real. And they think that people are lying when they share it. But let me tell you, it is so damn true. I didn't believe it in either, until I was not willing to accept anything but that. It doesn't necessarily have to be superficial princess treatment like opening the door, getting a flower. I mean, that surely does feel good, but real princess treatment is when he is willing to understand you. He listens to you. He makes effort to make your life easier. He appreciates you. You feel so peace and content and comfortable being in relationship with him, not anxious. He makes you feel so safe and secure that you're willing to do things that you dream of individually. You see a good changes in yourself when you're being treated like a princess. That is what real princess treatment looks like. And secure men are so capable of doing that. Why anxious people should be with secure people? Anxious people desires emotional closeness and intimacy. Secure people are comfortable with emotional closeness and intimacy. Anxious people needs constant reassurance and needs to know where they stand in relationship. Secure people gives you constant reassurance and is clear about where your relationship is going. Anxious people are very sensitive, and secure people are willing to understand your needs and show up for your needs. Being with secure person is the best gift you can give to yourself in relationship. Because like I said, our attachment style is very influential, and secure people have a characteristic to pull you off from insecure attachment style to secure. So why not? So we have come to the end of the video. However, next week video will be follow-up video about how to self-soothe yourself when your system is activated. So don't forget to check it out. But anyway, I'm so grateful that you're here, and I really enjoyed this video. So I was so excited to make this video, and this is something that I'm really passionate about, and this is something that has greatly helped me in my relationship. So I hope this really helps you too. Thanks for coming by, and I really appreciate you. And please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because that would help me extremely. Okay, I hope I see you on my next one. I love you. Bye. Mwah.